All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Sister Deborah coming with a message. Can we talk or is someone listening? Can we talk or someone listening? Sister Deborah is coming, and I don't have my study guide, the Bible, and I'm going to have to go get it. Be back. I have this little thing that I picked up at the Goodwill, and it was a cart, but it's for your laptop. And that means you put your laptop on top. It can go down, up, at any level, and you can wheel it outside, inside, anywhere you go. Anywhere you would want to place your laptop. It's actually called a laptop stand. So when I saw it, I said, this is a good idea. This has allowed me to move about. Even when I'm outside, I'm going to do one outside. And all I have to do is take the cart, push it. It's on wheels. And I can do videos from wherever, I want to. So Sister Deborah is coming to say that it's time to talk, but is someone listening? I did a video, probably, I don't know how long ago it was, an hour or so. And I realized YouTube didn't, at least on my end, it does not show. Matter of fact, it doesn't show that it's well over 100 views. And I just couldn't understand, why wouldn't they post? Why didn't they allow it to come up? Now, you can probably get on it, but they don't have everything posted right along the side of it. And I was just wondering, and don't get me wrong, Sister Deborah already know why. I'm just using I don't understand, or I'm wondering. It ain't no wondering, it ain't no understand. I got full understanding of what's going on. And I don't blame them. Take it down, because you know who it's for. And they're not going to, and in this day that we're in this day, you have to be prepared for stuff like that, because and to you all, you probably don't really understand a word I'm saying, which I know that you don't, but it don't stop me from saying it. How about that? Satan and his demons are listening, so it ain't gonna stop me from saying it. You get what I'm saying? So I sit back and I watch the movement, and how this darkness really think that it's running something, and it is. It's running all the darkness. And I'm going to talk. I wheeled the cart into my room here. My son is in there watching television. He just, I don't have none in here. He just got in, and he'll be going out a few days. And I allow him to, I said, I get out of there so he can be able to watch television. So I brought it into here. And I will say that here I am. Another thing about the video has also sparked some subscribers, the last two videos. So it's just, to me, it's just, I guess this is what to expect all the way. Don't think it's going to be something easy. Things are not going to be easy at all. So don't look for it. So people out there who are really doing the work, the labor, and suffering through it, through endurance and long suffering. I'm speaking of those who are laboring, who are doing the work in the body. These are the things you are to expect. Okay, all these little petty eddy things that people are complaining about, or against one another, or dislike about one another, those are petty eddy things, because people get in a situation where they start having personal issues with one another, and they think everything has to drop and everything has to stop because now I got an issue. It's about me. Don't ever get wrapped up in everybody else's issues, because they will take you down the drain. You know how you cut on your water and you just let it run, it's going straight down the drain. You'll find yourself going straight down that drain right along with them. And I mean, in any situation, whether it's friends, co-workers, family, immediate family, those in your household, your neighbor, or your neighborhood, or your community. Don't get in the midst of all this worldly chaos, because they'll take you down that drain right along with them, because they don't have no problem. Why? Anybody know? Want me to tell you why? They're not going to have any problem just going down the drain, but they always want to take others with them. When they have an issue, then they want the one on the left and the right of them to have the same issues that they have. You see? And then even if you're not even in it, and even though you're not connected to it, they still look for you to go down the same drain that they have fallen into and going down. You see? So be careful out there. And like I say, this happens even among family members. It happens even among friends, co-workers. People want to take you down the drain because they gone down the drain. Get on the job, a workplace, and two people having issues, and they always got you in the middle, wanting you to take sides, wanting you to get in the midst of chaos that they built up themselves, that they how would I say, molded themselves. And then they want to see you go down that same drain that they went down. And they're not going to be content until they know that you're going down the drain like them. But they set that for themselves. Because anytime you set up and from the flow up and try to make situation be that which it is not, this is what you look for. This is what you look for. So like I say, and this even with family members, among the family, friends, a community, neighborhood, community, even a place where you might be worshiping. Same thing. Don't get caught up in with people that's actually moving in a situation where things are running down the drain for them, and they need somebody on the left to go down with them, somebody on the right to go down with them, someone in the back of them to go down with them. Let them go down alone. Okay? So I wanted to say that because that's what I'm feeling. You see, I'm feeling this to say, because this is a lot of stuff that's actually taking place, that's actually going on. I was telling you all earlier about a situation during the Sabbath, how I was taking advantage of the Sabbath, and I was sitting waiting for the Holy Spirit to give me what he wanted me or felt I need. And in this process, I decided to go into reading Revelation chapter 7. When I stepped into Revelation chapter 7, I developed something that I realized you don't hear nobody preaching, you don't hear nobody teaching, you don't hear nobody ministering it, you don't hear nobody saying nothing regarding it. Now, this is the issue that I now got another issue that I'm going to put before the throne of the Most High Yah, because this is a very powerful issue that I have. Okay. And it is trying to understand, if people can't come together on the earth. Okay? Why is it a place prepared for them to come together in the kingdom? That could be my issue. But guess what? I'm taking my issue not to you, not to you, not to you. I'm taking it to the Most High Yah throne. That is something I would love for him to give me the spiritual insight, because in me, it really does not make sense. Is this body of Hamashiach kingdom only? Is this body of Hamashiach spirit only? Which it could be. And this is what can be part of the answer. I might be answering myself as I'm speaking to you right now, because when you put the body of Hamashiach under the head, which is Christ, he is a spirit, he is a spirit, he is a spirit. It's no need in thinking that he anything else outside of a spirit. So if he's a spirit, the body, his body has to be a spirit. So if he's a spirit, his body has to be a spirit. So those that is in his body has to be spiritual. You get what I'm saying? So now he might be answering it, because it's like, to me, I'm saying, why is it you can't come together on the earth, but you got a place for them to come together in the kingdom? To me, honestly, still, Sister Deborah, that's messed up from the floor. That's totally messed up from the floor, because there are those who come to do the work and the labor in this flesh. Are they doing it out of the spirit? Sure they are, but with the flesh present. And if that is the case, what does it look like when you have this one over here that's doing the work and doing the labor, called, appointed, and anointed to do the work and do the labor on this side, but on this side they do nothing, but yet they got a place in kingdom? You see, a lot of it is it's just like saying that, okay, a person comes down, he said he foreknew us, he predestined us, he ordained us. When did he ordain us? We were ordained to enter into the flesh, and now we are ordained. He knew us before we was in our mother's womb, and he predestined us, and he ordained us to be the servants, to be the mouthpiece, to be the labor and the worker. He's not just saying in the spirit is where our calling, our appointed, and our anointed, and our mission itself is in our spirit, but we have to be able to walk it somewhere in the flesh. We can't be one way in the spirit and totally serving the devil in the flesh. You get what I'm saying? Are we perfect in the flesh? No, but that spirit that lives in us, that has missioned us, plays a role in getting us under the subjection to it. But we still leave us in the flesh. So what Sister Deborah would love for the Most High, or what Sister Deborah would love to want to know in spirit and truth, if the body of Hamashiach is spirit, we know the head is spirit, so the body would have to be spirit. But where is it on the earth? And this is probably the reason why Sister Deborah can't find it. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. This could be the very reason why I look to and fro, up and down, trying to grip the ideal of spirit. Okay, this body of Hamashiach, the reason why you can't find it, Deborah, is because it's spiritual. If the head, which is Hamashiach, which is Christ, then the body would have to be like the head, spirit. So when you're looking to and fro, you're looking in all the wrong places because you're looking at the flesh to find the body of Hamashiach. So it answered it so somewhat, but I'm still hanging on the end. I can still feel it coming because if the head is Christ, which is Hamashiach, then the body has to be spiritual like the head. So this is why we that's in the flesh that are led by the Spirit have a hard time wondering and trying to connect and trying to fall under the body of Hamashiach. You see? Why? Fall and look for the body. Desire being in the midst of the body. Wanting to the body to come together. And it's so many verses and speaking in your study guide about find a part of being ready is to be in a oneness or to be together or to be found in together doing the work. You see what I'm saying? So I do know that the body of Hamashiach is what he made up in the spirit. So that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Because if the Christ, which is Hamashiach, is a spirit, then the body has to be a spirit. Okay, that's beautiful. So all those gifts were given before repentance because they weren't given to the flesh. They were given to the spirit. See? You see where I'm coming? So if the gifts were given to the spirit and the body is a spirit full of many other parts in the spirit, which is the body, then Christ being the head, Christ is over the body because the body is under his head, which is his leadership. Okay, now it's coming together because now that I know that the body, Deborah, is found in the spirit. So what must we say today? Must we say there's no way to determine or no way to find that unity or that togetherness? And he said we are supposed to be working together. You see? So we're alone, and I'm gonna really nail this tomorrow because I'm gonna get in it tonight. Okay, because I'm learning something as I speak to you, the power of the body of Hamashiach and the head being a spirit, and that means the body is a spirit. But what part does it play in the world? How is it that you want us to be found with the same mind, be found working with each other? You get what I'm saying? How and where does that rest when you're looking to and fro and people over this way in the back and in the all over the place, using their mouth to say that they are spirit and truth and they are light, they are saved, they are sanctified, they are full of the Holy Spirit, they got the Ruach HaKodesh. All of that comes from the flesh, okay, the mouth of the flesh, and it can say anything. But it's what rests in the spirit that identify truly who you are. So I'm going to get in that because the disciples and all the men of Yah, they weren't here on the earth revealing the spirit realm of who they are and who they represent. They was revealing the way of Yah to the natural. You get what I'm saying? And this is why they probably suffered long. This is probably why they endured and long suffer and were beaten and put in prison and murdered and tortured. It's because they were saying something based on their spirit to a people that was only serving their flesh. You get what I'm saying? And when you get the light trying to teach the darkness, or the light trying to reveal what the master light is saying to him to give to the people here, well, this is like light trying to reveal to darkness what God said, the Most High. You see? So then you wonder, this is the reason why it can't make sense to 99.9, because if it made any sense, people would look at the fact that, wait a minute, everybody that served the Father was beaten, tormented, murdered, tortured, put in prison, always a battle. You get it? What was it for? They had the spiritual mission in them, coming to a dark world that does not have it, and trying to speak what the spirit in them mission gave them to work, gave them to labor, to the darkness. But the darkness found them to be enemies to the point of tormenting, murdering, beaten, and putting in prison. Oh, yes. So it still leaves me wondering. And that's not going to be long, because that's how the Ruach pull up. He don't play. He'll pull up on you and give you the answer. So you won't have to look left and you won't have to look right. You don't even have to look up, because greater is he that's down in you than anything else elsewhere. You have to look within and hear that quiet voice, give you that answer. Open your eyes to see and understand what is being said and what the reality of it in the light looks like, feel like. So with me, it's like I went into Revelation chapter 7, because I was splitting up the 144. I realized I have taught that it's less than 100, it's 100% or less. But I didn't teach it based on my figures. But I started tampering with it and for its percentage, and it came out like I've always been saying it. So when I went through it and say, okay, 12,000 Judah, 12,000 this one, 12,000 this one, every tribe came out of each tribe was 12,000. Okay, but when you round it up, it was 144. But then after it gave the last tribe, then it began to talk about all the other nations, different tongues, different kindreds, different people from other nations. They had on white. They was before the throne. But when they teach in verse 7, they put a lot of emphasis on those that are marked. But they put no emphasis on the complete chapter. Let me get it. So what that led me to believe is, wait on the Holy Spirit. Let it give you the whole overall. I think the last one was Benjamin. Benjamin was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Benjamin. They were sealed 12,000. The next verse said, right after Benjamin receiving the 12,000, after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number. When you say something like that, it reminds me of the Father telling Abraham to look at the stars and count them if he can number them, or the sand of the sea. No man can number it. So when I look at this and I said, well, that's kind of sound like it, but it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man, so then no flesh could find a number. Do you know what that means? That was a lot of people. Do y'all get that? Want me to tell you how deep it was? It made the 144 sit their tails down. Oh, Debbie, did you go there for real? I sure did. It made the 144 sit their tails down. Hear what it says. After the 144, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, that there already overrides 144,000. Watch this here, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our Yah, which sitteth on the throne, and unto the Lamb. Bad, y'all need to sit your tails down now and get somewhere and sit down. That right there explained to you that the multitude that could not be numbered. But why was the 12 tribes numbered? Because those were the 12 tribes who not out of the 12 tribes who have not been with woman as virgins. Okay, but those were the 12 tribes he sealed. That number cannot compare to the number that is around the throne with white robes on of all nations. You see what I'm saying? So when we're trying to really minister this to the people, it's such a great trap. Only us get to go to the kingdom. Oh no, we get to go to the kingdom. Oh no, we rule down here. He's coming to get us. Everybody got their reason of who's going to enter their end, but no one goes by the one book that all of them follow, the King James Bible, even the 1611. They still don't respect it. There's no respect in the book that they study. Do y'all understand that? There's no respect in the book that people study. None whatsoever. Why you say that, Deborah? Because they don't walk in it. In righteous, they don't talk in it. In righteous, they don't teach in it. In righteous, they can't even see in it. In righteous, they can't hear in it. In righteous. So how are they following a book they call is Yah, the word? That shows you that they are long ways from anywhere they think they are found, or they think they know the way. Okay, so that leads me to say this. All of these people that's really teaching this to the degree that, okay, we going and you ain't, and we going and you ain't, and we going and you ain't. I can truly say, even when he said that when they say peace and suddenly destruction come upon them, and they shall not escape. I look at that and I look at all the power punch nationality that rules everything. And I see it to be them that he's speaking of. So that's why I'm quick to say, Europeans, y'all got some hell up and down your back, because you're going to pay the penalty of all the fathers and the forefathers and the forefathers. Okay. Now, do y'all got his hand picked? Sure he does. Sure he does. But I wouldn't want to be out here practicing racist and hate and murdering and killing for this country just to call it great. I wouldn't want to even be doing that, because that's saying that every child, every grandchild, every great-grand, every child that comes after then and was before then is doomed to follow in the lake of fire with you. So I wouldn't be sitting here ruining it for my next generation and my next generation. And not to say that the next generation is going to be on the earth. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people don't understand the generation already been put out. Did y'all know that? Many generations have been put out. the whole idea of the COVID and other issues that they're going to bring forth is to stop the birth. They're not trying to depopulate the earth. They're not trying to bring life in. They're trying to bring life out. So you see, they're doing everything they possibly can so that the children won't survive. That's why I heard they're going to add the China already doing it. They've been doing it. They're going to add the mRNA in the newborns, as mandatory. Now, Africa also did it. Africa signed, the people over there signed up for those babies to be given that. You see, that's a country that I'll never understand why people can't see the darkness in it. Africa, and with me, when I say Africa, people would look at Africa and think I more so speak of Ham. I'm looking at Ham lineage, okay? And not only just Ham lineage, but a people who always practice dark magic, dark voodoo, and so on and so much stuff is in that land, so much. And this is why they allow the opposite race to get victory over them. They got you all thinking that they got this in power. We doing this, we got this in power. You on the outside looking in, baby. You a long ways for who these people really are. For them to sign their babies to be born with a shot like that, they have to been paid pretty much, and they didn't. It's no good in them to do that, to have all the babies born. So this is how they're going to stop the child birth. The children coming forth. And then when they do come forth, they're not going to last long. You see what I'm saying? So ain't nobody really thinking, at that level of what I just said. And did I say it? Yes, I did. And I got a grandbaby on the way. Hello. But I'm going to tell you the truth of the matter. All this stuff, even the COVID shots, is going to hinder a lot of things. Oh, yes, on these babies that coming forth. See, what I'm saying is, when you sold out, to me, you sold out more than you think. My mother said my sister had to take the shot. Now listen to this. My sister had to take the shot because the doctor told her if she don't take a shot, she gonna die. So she went and took the COVID shots. And then when I was with my mother, she was telling me how my sister was developing all these big knots, on her arm. And my older sister had already told me something about it. And she said it was strange. Now, what's powerful about that is I try to picture what they were saying. And my mother was talking about it like, oh, it was so ugly and it was so out of ordinary. This is what COVID is, you guys. You can't speak enough on this stuff. It's like right is so wrong today. Even to even speak right is wrong. That's why they didn't upload the video correct. And they held back the new subscribers and they held back the viewers. They did. And I don't blame them. I do not blame them. Because the truth is only for those who hold the truth. And everybody holds the truth, but only the light holds the truth in understanding. That is the Ruach HaKodesh. So they get the understanding through the Holy Spirit what truth is. While everybody else walking around here in La La Land thinking they in the land of the living. Baby, you are walking dead and don't know it. You are a walking dead and don't know it. So when I was telling y'all about Revelation, when I see all of that, I'm like saying, why ain't nobody preach that? Why ain't nobody teaching that? And the Spirit says, they don't teach what they read. They preach, but they ain't going to preach it out of the order in the way that they're reading it. Even their comprehension of what it says, they ain't going to teach it in that order. They're going to always find room to teach it in the left lane at all times, because they are being paid as well. Is it enough to sell out? No, don't ever think that you're getting enough to sell out on the Most High Yah, to sell out in his righteousness and what he is just. It's nothing on this earth worth selling out the Creator. But I say that, and I can say it proudly, but I can't let it stand for everybody, because many people are a long ways from that, you see. I'm trying to get this here. Oh, okay. Many people are a long ways from that, and they nowhere near that. But it bothered me that no one ever complete Revelation chapter 7. How could you complete it when he took and gave each tribe outside of Dan 12,000, which is 144,000? That's a pen needle. So when I think of his small remnant, that got to be a pen needle. It got to be a pen needle. So when I think of, wait a minute, and I say this is not the only time it speaks of it in other Mark, Luke, John, and Matthew's about other nations entering into the kingdom at the throne. And I'm like saying, but and he even talks of them as being strangers. And I'm like saying, why ain't nobody just telling people it's not, Yah is not coming for a race of people? You see what I'm saying? Yah is not all about a race of people and a race of people only. Okay? I believe there was two promises, promise of the land and promise of eternal land, which is the New Jerusalem. I believe that. You see, I don't believe that everybody else is kicked out, because right here in Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9, it says, after he had the seal of the 12 tribes, which Dan never reached, but Benjamin was the last 12,000 sealed out of the 144. And then it says on verse 9, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number. That's a number they telling you. That's a number you can't even open your mouth to. They're not going to the throne to play patty cake baker, man with the most high Yah. They going to the throne because they got their white robes on. See, nobody ain't paying attention. They said, and these people have all nations, all kindreds, all people, all tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and the palm in their hand. I don't understand. Why is it that if we're going to really bring out anything, don't leave out everything? If you're going to bring out spirit and truth or the light, don't leave out what you want to leave out to fit what you want people to believe. And this is what many of the Hebrew Israelites are doing. They're not adding everything in. They're not, and they can't, y'all. Another reason is why they can't. Because without that understanding, which is the Holy Spirit, they can't understand. They can't see. They can't hear. So they got to teach a lie. You know why I say that? Because they're not teaching it out of even their study guide. Say, for instance, they don't have the Holy Spirit. You'll think that they'll still come up and say something that fall under what they reading. But what the Spirit keep telling me, and he's been telling me this for the last 2 years, Deborah, they don't even follow the protocol of what they study, nor what they reading. I said, you mean to tell me they reading it and still teaching it opposite of what they reading? Yes. And I thought that was so crazy to be teaching something based on what you read, but teaching it different from what you read. This is how wicked darkness is. It'll play the role as light. It'll play the role as spirit and truth. It'll play the role as a priest. It'll play a role as an apostle. It'll play a role as an apostle, a prophet. It'll play a role as a prophetess. It'll play a role as an evangelist, a minister, a pastor, a Maureen, a seer, a watchman. It'll play all these roles. And that's what y'all see on these platforms, all these different positions. And he says, still, they won't touch even what they read. And I'm like saying, but Father, how can they miss what they read? The lie that's in them, Deborah. And see, in my little peanut mind, I'm like, so you're reading something and you're still telling a lie toward what you're reading. You tell me if that's not crazy. That's a different level of darkness that many of you all would never understand because you don't think this could actually happen. And it is. That's why nobody can find even a pin needle of light. None whatsoever. They can't find it. Yah loves the strangers and told his people not to oppress strangers. And he had given them the land. Yes, he did. He told them not to oppress them. And I was reading that the other day, and in my mind, I'm like saying, why ain't they telling the truth? It's just that the reason why I say that like that, you guys, is because everybody got all these subscribers, all these likes, and all this support. And I'm trying to figure out how is it, and they telling a lie. They're not telling the truth. And yes, he did say that over and over and over. It's on one of my studies because he gave me like 7 different lessons that I have, and that's on my study. And I saw that, and I said, "Do they understand that, Father? That they're not supposed to oppress the stranger?" Because during that time, he was talking about. I'm gonna tell you when he was saying that they are not to do even the strangers. It's when he was telling them how they supposed to do the orphanage, the fatherless, and the widows. See, Yah put a protocol in his way, but they going a different way because even in that protocol that he put there, I'm like saying, but Father, those 3 categories, you're actually saying that it's missing a man. So if a man, where they at today, Father? They're not standing in the gap as he created a man to stand in. They standing in another identity that does not represent the creative position of the Father. Because he told them, he said, he wanted them to be partaker in the fatherless. What is the fatherless missing? A father. An orphanage, they're missing parents, period. But it's missing a father, the leader. And the widow, what is she missing? A man. You see, Yah had his T's crossed and his I's dotted all the time. But we turned around and totally disrespect any and everything that he stood for. Even the way we teach is out of the order of the way he has ordered it and in his creation. And we turn around and make our way the right way, and we disrespect him and say, your way ain't right. Because when he said that about oppressing the stranger, it's also in that same verse where he said, don't oppress the strangers. I said, Father, do they know that? But did you get, let me see if you get I can say it today. Let me see if you got the whole overall when he said that about oppressing the stranger. Okay. They teach the lie because the power and the control. That's it. Yes, 100%. The fatherless, the widows, the strangers. I'm studying that too. Yes, it's the when you study, it's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna say that old lady was really meaning something when she said the men didn't stand in their position. Because he tell you he's talking to them. And I'm like, what? He's always been telling them what was their role was masculine. It had a role. You see? As the mother earth birthed everything, you see how it fits in with a true natural mother birthing all the children, when the worldly, the earth itself birthed forth all things. So you see how he lined that feminine up with the ways of the feminine of the natural woman. What he said with that masculine was the same thing. The widows don't have no longer their husband because they dead. So they are widow. Men, step in and help. Fatherless no longer have the father. So he said, men, step in and make it better for them. Help them. These fatherless children. And then you said the orphanage, same thing. Step in and help these people who don't have a mother nor a father. But all 3 on one accord means a male. So I turned around, called myself being smart. I said, well, wait a minute. How they going to take care of the widow, the orphanage, and the fatherless, and they ain't even took care of their own children? How they going to do it, Father? They're a long ways from that. You know what he told me? He was telling me that those 3 is him. It is him. He's telling us out of his own heart. When he speak of the widows, the orphanage, and the fatherless, now you're messing with my heart. Then all of a sudden, Job comes stepping up. What do you got to say, Job? And Job comes stepping up, breaking that thing down in me. Job said, hold up, Deborah. Let me tell you one thing. I had 10 children, a wife, and I had everything. But I was the one in the land. Deborah, I took care of the mother of the widows. I took care of the orphanage. I took care of the fatherless. Hello. See, that's how he rumbled. He'll let somebody come back from way back and blow your mind. And when Job said that, I had to go to after verse, Job stepping into me, telling me, but Deborah, that's how it always been, baby. So just because you don't understand why it ain't like that today, that don't mean that's how it always been. It was like that from the beginning. Yes, it was. Those that he had, the father had as his servant, then all of a sudden here go David pulling up. What you want, David? David said the same thing. We supposed to have been, Deborah, taking care of the fatherless, the widows, the orphanage. That was our job as men being created on this earth. And I still say the same thing. Today, you ain't gonna get that. Because they won't even take care of their own children. They ain't even seen their own children. So how they gonna take care of the homeless, the fatherless, or the orphanage, or the widows? They ain't even take care of their own. So that shows me what he was saying. I'm just showing you how right 100 you were when you was talking about the purpose of a trainer to train the children. You was always right. Men has a masculine position called out in them. They were supposed to be about that, but they didn't even do it even in their own household. So you can't expect them to be somewhere else trying to do it. That means they could never follow the protocol of the heart of Yah, because Yah warned, I don't know if y'all have read it, he have warned them. He have warned them. You better take, not please, or can you better take care of the orphanage, the widows, and the fatherless. He had already charged the men to do that. And we run around here making these men, talking about kings, leaders, and rulers. You can make them king, leaders, and rulers, and they are nothing in the eyes of Yah. They represent nothing, because he said the orphanage, the widows, and the fatherless is his heart. If every man on this earth would have to stand in their grave, because I wouldn't put up with that. They lucky they got the Most High Yah, because it's no way they'll be out, because that doesn't make any sense. They don't even follow your protocol of your heart. That was an order that he gave to them. A lot of people don't know it. That was the order of their creation. Just as a trainer to train up the child. Same order. He gave them that order for a reason. And when he called out the widows, the fatherless, and the orphanage, one thing you have to do, what is it they all three have in common? They don't have the male. And Yah is saying, y'all step y'all tails in. This is the work here. This is my work I want y'all to do. And you will never get a pastor, a bishop, a priest, an evangelist, not even a apostle in this day and time or in time past outside of the true disciples. You won't get them doing or following the protocol of a man. But they can follow the protocol as I'm a king, I'm a leader, I'm a ruler. Nobody tell me what to do. You know, they want to follow that protocol, but not the protocol in the way the Father created them. So let me say this. These are the groups that are usually poor. These are the groups that are usually poor. They missing a male. Exactly. But not all of them are poor. I mean, I ain't gonna say all. I know you ain't talking about all of them, but I don't think it would match what the protocol of what Yah called poor. Okay. I think widows can be left everything the husband left behind. You mean to say the wealth. You get what I'm saying? And that's a widow. So we got It has to be something beyond finances. You get what I'm saying? Or being poor that he's speaking of. It would have to only be, like you said, missing a male. Because I don't think it's the orphanage. They can go into an orphanage in homes, and it don't mean they poor. You get what I'm saying? You can be fatherless, but that don't make you poor. Okay. But it makes you missing something. And the only thing all three of them are category to be missing is a male. So I would take more so the side of a male than to say that they are poor. You get what I'm saying? So he's just showing you that they need that male in the midst. And like I talked the other day, oh, this is just too deep. This is just too deep. Like I talked the other day, the purpose of training up a child. The word train up a child is saying a trainer up a child. A child was once a sperm. He is a seed. And he's telling the one that holds the sperm and the seed to train up. Take that child when they little, and as they grow up, train them up in the way of right or righteous. You see what I'm saying? So in it, it's like that same trainer is that same one that the widow needs, in the midst. He's not saying go take them and take care of them and do all this and that. He's not, it's you know what? It's what he put in man to do. They know what they are supposed to do. Okay. So what? We ain't seen the example on the earth. We can't even claim the example. I can claim my father as an example. He had 7 children by my mother, and he set a perfect example. But I can't claim that for everybody. I went all through elementary, having the only in all my classrooms in elementary, I was the only one with 1 or 2 parents in the household. You see how bad that is? Now, who goes from 3rd grade at this elementary school all the way up to 8th grade and being the only one with 2 parents in a household? You see what I'm saying? So I can actually claim my father because the example he set. You see what I'm saying? So, but I cannot speak of it and say that the whole world. I can't say that. I can only say what I've learned in the ministry that he has placed me in and what he has allowed me to see from the level of the wilderness. But it's more so that male was always, okay, let me give you another example. You know how it talks about the children are the crown of their fathers, their glory and their crown of the father. When a young man achieves something, he makes his father glad. It's always verses telling you when the children does something, it represents the father. And I don't know why nobody don't get that. And it ain't meant for people to get it. They just don't get it. Okay. And it ain't meant, the spirit he ain't designed it for people to get that. Because if I can see that it's saying that to an 8th grader can read it and see that it's saying that, I don't get why the mindsets of people can't grip that. And everything he's saying in there, it's never saying what it does to the mother. It's only saying what it means to the father. It goes back to what I'm saying, people, about how important it is for the father to step in this father or dad or whatever you want to call him position created from the kingdom. He even created it to where when it come down to the children, only one gets the glory is the father. Why the women and the men can't grip it? That's on them. That's how lost to me the world is. And when I see it that lost, that's why I feel like it's at a point where it don't make any sense to even teach it, because it's like he said, it's over. They'll never get it. They didn't get it back then. Deborah, you think they're gonna get it today? This is the worstest day. You think they're gonna get it? No. But it doesn't stop you from still speaking that light in the midst of darkness, because it all makes sense. Because I saw on there when it says when a child is disobedient or does something wrong, in society, it caused the mother hurt. And that's 100%. But that's the only thing it says for us, the mother. The children doing anything in the world, it's the glory of the father, it's the crown of the father, it's everything to the father. So what went on to where here we are, no one hold men accountable for everything that was said that he was liable for? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And when I say that, it's because I do get it. It don't mean I really don't get it. So I'm crossing that barrier right now. It ain't that I don't get it. It's because I do get it. I just get it too well. You see? So as I was speaking of, we were talking, you mentioned something about the oppressed stranger. And when you read that, now, when you read that, did you... Whew, when I was given that during the Sabbath, it took me to such a deep realm. I sit back and I say, Father, it's deeper than it's over, ain't it? It always been, Deborah, because I seen it before the foundation of the world. You just seeing it now. That's how deep it is to him. This is what I seen before the foundation of the world, baby. You just not seeing it. That's how. So you're right. You got a good point, Deborah. It's deeper than what you see. So I call myself saying that to him because the way he taught me this during the Sabbath about that, I'm like saying, oh man, man. So when you pull that up, and that just brought me all the way back to realizing how people are so out of it, y'all. So to me, I have to look at people as the walking dead, because people are walking dead. Because if you ain't walking living, baby, you got to be walking dead. Because when you brought that subject up in one of your verses on here, one of your messages, you said, Yah loves the stranger and hold his people not, and told his people not to oppress the stranger when he had given them the land. Okay, now I can hear him saying, Deborah, it's covered in Isaiah 1. You can wrap it up probably in Isaiah 2. But what he was saying, I had to even rest out of it. That's why I say when we go in it, get it. Because it ain't going to be no get going in and going out. You get it. That when that Ruach give it to you, you get it. And I was so hurt by that. You know what made me hurt about it? Because let me show you what he told me. See how you got it? I read that. And when you put it up on this here live chat, it just brought it all the way back. And it's not a good feeling with it, I'm telling you. You quoting it, but you do not know the power behind it and the sorrow behind it. You really don't. Because in that, it also talk about they are not to oppress the stranger. He told them not to oppress them along with the widows and the orphanage and the fatherless. But guess what? Stop the murdering. Stop shedding blood. Don't be doing that. Do you know why? Because the very same thing we boo-hoo and hoo-hoo about over in this land was why he had to match us up with the way we treated the stranger after he told us not to. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. See, Yah tells us what he told them. And then when you read it and you understand behind it, you realize he's giving them an upper head that don't do that stuff, because you're going to reap what you sow, because I'm going to vice versa it onto you. So when you see how he's told them not to oppress the strangers, if you go back and you dig in it, you're going to realize they were oppressing the strangers. They were doing everything that they're doing right here today. That's why I say when you go into stuff, be careful. Know that if you go in it, the Ruach substitute to meet you there. And when he do, be ready, be ready, be ready. Because this past Sabbath, that was one that I said, Father, this is more than I can handle. He said, no, it ain't, because you taught it. I said, yeah, I know I taught it, but to bring it back up again, Father, it's more pain and it's like a hurt. When Deborah, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's long suffering. That's endure, because you know you didn't taught that so many times. And yes, I have. I taught it in Ezekiel chapter 36. Ezekiel was saying something. Then the Father stepped into him and said, hold up, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how these people were. And told him exactly the way Israel was. And we paint pictures so pretty that we just the innocent little innocent people. We ain't never done nothing. We the angels from the kingdom, the biggest lie on the face of this earth. And nobody would preach behind Ezekiel, because there's a message behind the message. But you ain't gonna get nobody even preach the message right. Because straight out in the message, you can hear his father coming behind Ezekiel. Let me tell you something. What was he doing? Checking them? Let me tell you who they were. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you who they were. Not who you think they is, but let me tell you who they were. And that's something we're at. That's where we at today. We don't want to know nothing about really who they are. And see, guess what he had to share with me this weekend? He told me about how many times you taught that message, and behind it, in front of it, on every side of it, you broke it down. That it was an example. They are over here due to the example of the way they conducted themselves when they were on the promised land. And yes, the Father said he was in the midst of them, but they still did it. And he brought them out of it into what was just like them. Only in not that in the type of in hope that they will do better, in hope that I know that they better than that, in hope that I know they are the angels, oh, they the people, they the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they the this, they the this, they the this. No, he said in hope that they see themselves. And we sit our tails in this country and have disrespect the whole 4 and some odd years, not seeing who we are. And Sister Deborah get on here trying to break it down. Y'all, we some ugly people. We doing this, we doing that. Do y'all see who we? And y'all walk around here like somebody saying something bad. Oh, you see what truth do to you? It shows up how much darkness you walk in. Because truth is never something one really want to really focus on. Now, you know what he told me during Sabbath? He broke that down, and it wasn't just in one verse. It was in 3. He's warning them about the stranger. Don't do that to them. So what he was saying to them, don't do that, because in their hearts were to do it. Same thing with the fatherless, the orphanage, and the widows. And the same thing what he was telling them in them same verses, he was telling them, don't be out here murdering and doing these things to your brother. He was telling them, but he was telling them because they were doing it. And all of these things that they were doing it, they suffered it for the 4 years here. But the 4 years, the 400 years was for them to see themselves. I would never live 65 years and tell people that the 400 years were vain and vexed. Oh, no. The 400 years were worthless. No. The 400 years had no purpose. Oh, no. The 400 years didn't mount up to nothing. It didn't teach nothing. It didn't reveal nothing. You's a liar from the pit of hell, because this one right here can teach that thing. I can teach that thing. Everything that the 400 years waited on was you, Hebrew Israelites. It's been waiting for you to see you in where you reside, so you can understand how ugly you were to him. once you see you where you reside. See, it was a lesson out of it. And that's the power. When you spoke that, I thought about what he was teaching me in that lesson. Can you see behind it, Deborah? You didn't taught this too many times. You know that it was a purpose behind the 400 years. Every Hebrew Israelite look at it as vain and vast, worthless. They look at it as if it had no meaning. They look at it as if it had no purpose, no understanding to it, no detachment to them. But we just over here and everybody just doing us so wrong. And the Father in the kingdom set it so we can learn how ugly we have always been. And instead of seeing how ugly we are, we try to make him ugly because we didn't want to see how ugly we have been to him first and foremost. So we down here lying and doing all the things that he warned us up over ancient time. I can't say ancient, but thousands of years he's warned us. And what do we do? Let me get this out of here. What do? We disrespected him. How did we disrespect him, Deborah? Because we walk our tails right today. Said we serve him and have no respect for the order that he had to call to have us here. And then as you talk about that, guess what? You can see him bringing you here himself. I'm going to teach that thing. Show you where it shows you that Yah orchestrated this bad boy so well to the point where you had to have gotten something out of it. You all are living on this earth and dying, not having no spirit and truth, no light, no connection with a true Most High outside of your mouth saying who you are. And that don't mean a wretch behind. Don't have no desire to work, no desire to labor, just the desire to run your mouth and say who all you are in the kingdom. Who would say? Who can say? Who will say that the 400 years was worthless? Every last one of you can say it. Because you didn't learn nothing. You don't understand nothing in it. You didn't comprehend it. You wasn't able to see behind seeing what it all was for. That's what I learned in my Sabbath. That was one thing I learned. Because I had no idea. I was saying to him, who you telling it? Wait a minute. You telling Israel not to do this to the strangers? You keep saying that to them, Israel? And on and on. And he was telling them, stop the murdering. See, they thinking that everything is about them in this land. They missed the picture. No. And I try to teach that 3, 4, 5 years, Father, longer. And they still don't get it. So what do? Sit here and continue to teach what the Spirit gives me with the light and spirit and truth. And let people kick rocks wherever way they want to go. Any way you want to kick it. Go for it. Because it's over. And if you only really understand that it's over, you understand that it's over. They were doing the exact same thing, and he was telling them not to. So if you really think now, if they was doing this, wait a minute. He warned them in Deuteronomy 28. He warned them through Isaiah. He warned them through Jeremiah. He warned them through Ezekiel. And all they can come up with today is, we the people. We Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We the chosen. They still today sit in darkness, claiming to be the light. And fully denied. But see, I did not get why Yah allowed them to take now we passed the 400 years, take all these years in vain. Why? Who in their right mind would think a creator would want you somewhere 400 years, past 400 years for nothing? Not nobody can make it make sense. You can't make sense because there ain't no sense in you. That's why. You can't make it make sense because it ain't no sense in you. There's no need in trying to make it make sense because it ain't in you. No, it was worthless because their heart saw it to be worthless. See, it's not worthless to the light, but to the darkness, it's worthless. Start from Genesis, pull all the way up into today. Everything he put them to see, they saw it as worthless. It's not worthless. Let's take it back down and put it only in the spiritual contents. Take it back down to where it needs to go. It's not worthless in the eyes of the light. It's only worthless in the eyes of the darkness. To say that it's not worthless to a world or to a people that have taken it to be worthless, because what proof do you have that they have not seen it to be worthless? Tell the world so everybody can hear you. Tell the world that the Hebrew Israelite didn't take the 400 years and walk in it as if it was worthless. You won't have not one that will agree with that. The light knows that it's not worthless, but the darkness could give a rat's behind. And that's how you have to separate it. Don't separate the words in a category, because it reminds me of something I had to say to someone today. They say, nobody gets away with anything. True fact. But you're talking about the spiritual realm, they ain't gonna get away with it. But if somebody come in your house and shoot you in all three legs, and when they go to court, the court give them 5 years, would you still say they didn't get away with something? See, you have to learn to hear and hear. You got to see that worthless and worthless has to go 2 routes, not just one. It is worthless based on the darkness that has disrespect him and have walked in it as if they could give a rat's behind. There's no proof in this earth that 400 years that the Hebrew Israelite found it to be a lesson to them and used it to do better. You're going to make yourself a straight up liar from the pit of hell. Because when y'all say it's a worse time than any, that's not to say, oh, it's not like that. It can get better or it's better. No, you can't keep mixing. And that's what people keep doing. They keep mixing the light with the darkness and calling it straight across the board. Stop. When I'm speaking 2 terms, because I know I'm speaking to 2 type of people. So when I say it was worthless, 99.9, it's worthless. Why you think you still passing 400 years? Because it worked, or because it was worthless? Because he still ain't done. Did he know it was going to be worthless? Sure he did. Heaven's got it wrote in and wrote out. That's the same thing that Solomon was saying. Open your book up to Solomon, read the whole Ecclesiastes. He's saying the same thing I'm saying. Solomon said, all that time I was here, it's vain and vax. Vain and vax mean worthless. To come down here and to think that the light is going to reveal something to this darkness. Deborah, ain't nothing under the heavens. It's all, read them, vain and vexed. It's worthless. That's what you call it. Now, it ain't worth it from the kingdom level because he got his. Where he is at? In the palm of his hand. He got his in this man's. All that. He knows who's disrespecting him. And there's no way I tell the world and the whole Hebrew Israelite that they did not treat him as if what he said, he did it in Deuteronomy. He told them. So here Isaiah, how far along that? Y'all, that's a long ways. Isaiah saying the same thing. Jeremiah saying the same thing. But yet, it's not worthless. I think you need to reread the Bible because you have to be able to read behind it and understand there's two. There's two. And that's how Yah has divided everything because he know it's set up in twos. Okay. And that's how they treat it. Because if you can do like Abraham, the father said to him that he's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Y'all knew he was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah anyway. He wasn't getting Abraham's okay. It wasn't about getting Abraham. That's why you have to learn when you read behind. It ain't that he was going to hold Sodom and Gomorrah unaccountable. So when he go telling Abraham, he ain't getting his okay. He don't have to get nobody okay to say that something is the way that it is. He don't need to get nobody's okay. It is what it is, but it's that way from the kingdom. It's not so much it's on the earth. The earth keep on finding reason to justify and clarify all this wicked and darkness. And can the world find reason? Sure they can. Sure they can. 24/24. They can find just reason of why things are the way that it is. The world can find all kind of reason. So the father told him, Abraham got to count numbers all the way down. And he telling him if you can find one. That's that challenge Abraham was saying. Truly, there's someone worth keeping Sodom and Gomorrah. Truly, you're not going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Truly, there got to be this many and this many and this many that ain't. The father tell him, you won't find none. Because if it was, I wouldn't be doing it. See that? You see? So that's the reality of today, is the battle to accept the way of Yah versus the way we want to think that it is. Because we thinking that the way that things is holds on one. No, it holds on two. So the light knows the level of what Yah is doing and have done. We will not see it to be worthless, or else we wouldn't have a word to speak, teach, minister. It would be no reason for Yah to have us to be the light, nor spirit and truth, to be his voice, if he didn't have someone that sees it to be worth and not worthless. You see? So you can't take Abraham said, surely it's this many, then this many, and this many, as if he's talking to the creator who know it ain't none. Not even Lot should have came out. You see? So he's just telling Abraham, giving him the upper hand. I already know ain't nothing coming out of there. You see? We got to give that to the Father. That's what you call respecting him. Know that what he does well. He got his T's crossed. That sounded like somebody was shooting. He got his T's crossed. He got his I's dotted. Everything that he does 100% well, good. So it's worthless. Let's put it like that. They have used it as if it was worthless. Just imagine all of them that's over here. Now you hear people saying that was a lie. Let me break that down to y'all. Give y'all some good, some not ain't even good. It's not even good. It's evil. They're saying that This one European came up with this long time ago, and now they're trying to push it forward, that there's never been slaves here in the United States of America. It wasn't slave brought here. They were already here. So that slave ship and stuff, they said, that was a lie. That they're willing now to say that there were people already here. So therefore, it wasn't that ships brought slaves from one area to here. All of that is a lie. Then you see the melanated people boasting it and putting it up on their page and going over it and dissecting it and agreeing with it. They are people who always walk in darkness as if they have not seen the light, and they would agree just to agree. You see? So what happened was, I sit back and I look at that and I say, now y'all gonna pull somebody up that was talking what back in the 70s and 80s about there's no such thing as slave ships coming over here and that black people were here. Yes, there were people already here, but let me tell y'all something. The earth was only melanated people. So no matter where you go, you're going to find melanated people. But what the one thing I have a hard time with is this. Why do the melanated people have an issue with who they are? Why is it one just can't say, now we here, we do this, and we do this, and we do this, and we do this, instead of just putting us all in the same thing and say we all the same? Because that's how the Europeans have always treated us. They have always treated us. They told us we were Negroes and we were African Americans, and then they always giving us different names because we claim it. Whatever they give us, oh, that's who we are. We go put down on all our important paper, Negro. We go put down all our important papers. We African American. We just African American. African American. Whatever they give us, we accept. Black. Do you look this color? They give you black, you call yourself black. All your paperwork say black and you sign on. See, there's no fight in there. There's no fight. But let them, somebody step on their tennis shoe. They'll blow their brother away because he just got new tennis shoes you stepped on. You see that? But you won't fight for nothing equal, nothing righteous, nothing just. Somebody step on your tennis shoe, that require you to kill 4 or 5 people? Come on now. Your girlfriend says you and her been going together for 3 years, and now it's time for y'all to split. You want to kill her mama, her daddy, and nobody sees nothing wrong with it because they can't seem to own up to the real fact and the truth. And that's what I feel and I call disrespecting the Most High Yah, because we always find an escape way out for a people, and that's what's wrong with them. They kept finding an escape way out because they took on what they were in here for, to see and understand who they are and understand that you are a carbon copy of the people that is oppressing you. They picked up their book and said this book is about their history, but you'll never see them talk about, okay, if it's your history, didn't he tell you not to oppress the strangers? How many times did he tell you not to kill your brother? How many times? See, that's what I'm saying. When they get to grabbing this book and they try to use this book as their history, guess what? This book they tells all on every side. This side, that side, this side, and that side. This book will book them all around, every side of their head. But guess what? They're not reading it for it to book them. They're reading it to get away with everything they've been doing since the beginning of time. They want a just reason to say, no, we're just over here for nothing. Why would a creator tell you in Deuteronomy 28? Why would it tell you in Isaiah 3? 1, 2, and 3. Why would Jeremiah, Ezekiel, why do all these books of all these men of yesterday have told you about how ugly you are? And these very same things you're doing in this country is what you were. It's because he wanted you to take a look at yourself. And we are a people that never, ever owned up to our own ugliness, our own wrongdoing. Had we taken this 400 years, with what we say is our history, taking this 400 years, they might have held this from us back then. They might have took books out and added and smeared. But guess what? What would have made the Creator even think to bring a people that he called his people to a land to be treated the way that they're still being treated past 400 years? Because they were supposed to learn something, y'all. And to me, when we stand up and we justify it and clarify it, it shows us that are in the light that that plan of Yah, he knew it was going to be worthless. He knew they wasn't coming out. He knew that they wouldn't look at themselves. He knew that. When Yah say, okay, tribe of Israel, 12 tribes, I want y'all to go left. Or if he say 12 tribes, I want y'all to go to right. The 12 tribes always went in the opposite direction of what the Father told. When he gave laws and rules and covenant, every rule he set before these people, they went the opposite. So he said, surely, Deborah, let them see themselves in the mirror by putting them in front of the mirror. And what was in front of the mirror? A place likened to who they are. Among people that's likened to their ways. Among a people that would show them themselves. Y'all, come on, 400 and something years. It's unjust to stand and think 400 and something years. They still today can't see what the 400 years was about. Let me explain to you. If you were to take today, 2026, you be subject to have 6% of the Hebrew Israelites here in the United States of America. And if there is 51 million melanated people here, they could be other race as well. Just imagine taking 6% out of it. Just take 6%. That's 6% that realize the mission from where they were to where they at. But guess what? The 6% still don't understand why. And I think it's disrespecting Yah to think that he would want you to come over here for all that time and don't have no idea of why you here. Nothing makes sense to you when he told you way back in Torah, Deuteronomy 28. Why is Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Jeremiah talking about it too? Why? And others, prophets, not just them, on down, been telling you the same thing about how he was going to bring you to this land. You will think 90% today should know. We were disobedient to the Most High Yah. And we have wronged him. We have been like this toward him for a long time. It said that our forefathers were, and here we are doing the exact same thing, but it says that we are worse than our forefathers. So what is that telling you? Does that tell you that it was worthless for them coming in their eyesight, but only to the sight that can see? Know that it was worth it because it was something Yah suffered to happen. So anything Yah does, he has worth in it. It's worth something when the Father has organized or has orchestrated it according to his will. It's always worth something. But because we take it and treat it worthless, we can't compare those two. Yah's purpose and what we do with it. Do with what? His purpose. You see? You see what I'm saying? We can't compare them. We can't get them mixed up. We have to keep them lining up. Okay. So that's what got to me having to go over that in Isaiah, because I was like, but Father, did not you tell them that in Torah? I mean, so Father, this go. I know it go all the way back to Genesis, but Father, come on now. You mean all the prophets talked about this same very thing? Yep. Warning them about coming over to this land where someone is going to be just like they were. And when he says, telling them to not to do something, it's because he know they're going to. Not because he know they're not. It's because he know they will. Okay? Yep. Doing the same thing. Yes. Yep. And scatter them according to their doing. It's in Ezekiel and it's in Jeremiah. He's telling them, but we cannot rewrite it for them because we can see behind it what is going on. We can't rewrite it to make it easy for them. They done messed up with Yah, not with us. Okay, so that it is what it is. Whether all we gonna do is have to. That's a part of enduring it. When you look at it, because it bothered me Sabbath, and I said, "But Father, no, this is just." I said, "Father, no, Father, no," because I read it exactly what you said. I read it in Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. And I was, no, and he broke it down to them. And yet it's a carbon copy of the way these people over here treat the Hebrews today, Judah today. A carbon copy of what he told them not to do throughout Genesis all the way up until this day. I mean, not up until those 400 years. Here we are in the same situation that he begged us not to do. Here we are, someone doing it to us, what he begged us not to do. So you see where I say, how the men were to do this and the men were to do that. You see how they can't even go back to what he ordered and created them to be in the beginning, because they have missed out all that time. Now they're in a land that ain't going to even give them anything to make them think that they're going to do something. They lost it a long time ago because what was in them was in them. You see? And that's why you can't find them finding their way. They're not going through the narrow gate, baby. They're not even looking for the way of the narrow gate. They don't give a rat's behind about the narrow gate, because you don't hear not one. Even the 6% who come to understand who they are, not even them. I heard Yaki, that's his name. Yaki and the other guy, he was my favorite on YouTube, a Hebrew Israelite guy. Y'all, he was sharp. Oh, he was sharp. And you know, he was real good. I'm going to find his page. I haven't seen him in years, but he was with Haki and him. And they was with the old heads. And the old head was really good too. I liked them because they was really about family coming together, make sure we take care of these wives, these women, these babies. And Haki and the other guy, they were really good. But then you saw Haki wanted the whole platform. And I'm sitting here saying, and I used to send texts, y'all need to get him out of there. He ain't got a black mark on his in the middle center of his head for nothing. I see he had it removed now. And I say, he think he a God. I heal people. I heal. He went to school and learned everything the world has to offer him about science, about herbs, and all this. He learned everything. His name is, he called himself Dr. Yaki. People don't know the danger of following behind this man. I don't believe Dr. Sabi's son don't care for him. That's between them. You know, that's how black men are. but he don't care for him because he thinking Haki thinks that he is another Dr. Sebi. He really do, but he's a fool. So when I used to, before I even moved here back home, that's how I got onto the YouTube. When the other guy, I forgot my guy's name. I'm gonna have to go in there and find him and see if he's back still lost. Haki took him so far out in the deep about the all-seeing eye and all. He taught him about black magic and books and every. Haki got him away from the old heads and became enemies with the old. Hey, they was battling it out, y'all. They were battling, and I left them alone. But I always wonder about the guy that went on Haki's side, because I sent him many a text telling him he leading you off the mountain, brother. He leading you because he was the best one on the whole platform. He was better than the old head. But when time Haki finished with him and that spirit led him over, that's why I say, people, stop thinking because you're running on here and you on this platform that everybody that's on Sister Deborah platform is in there with y'all. Don't you dare believe that. Don't you dare. No, it ain't like that, y'all, especially in this day and time. So this guy, I got to find. I'm just bothered by. I'm gonna find out where he's at. But Haki then left him, went out of state, and they from this state that I'm in. Okay, they were born and raised here, and the old heads went down there by the Sears building. They got a spot where they be on alive, and they didn't move, I think, away from the Sears building. They in another building, and they are good, but what they Hebrew Israelites, they want to claim that same old Hebrew Israelite cult, I call it. But it's the old heads were really good because they was about family and they was about women and babies and men not doing all this stupid stuff. When Haki wanted the whole floor, he wanted to be the main one talking and he the one told them that Eve had sex with the devil. All of that stuff she was doing, this is Haki. This is the same fool. And the other day, somewhere along the line, he came up on my thing. And now he calls himself a doctor. He's back here in Missouri, but he traveled different places. He got him some land. He done grew him all kind of stuff and growing all kind of herbs and really doing it up. Got him a building, y'all. Got him a school. I mean, I'm just looking at this here guy, and I said, this is a demon inside of a demon inside of a demon. Guess what now? He teach people that we all are gods. We are down here on earth to teach Yah how to be who he is. When he said that, I said, I told what's his name that this guy was a demon. And this guy told the world that he got a platform. He ended up being invited to all these platforms, and he's teaching these Hebrew Israelite men that we all are gods. You know why we down here? To teach the main God. We here to teach him because he don't know what it's like to be us. Woo, Father, let me get, woo, oh my. And I knew him. He was a young guy. And I knew it because I seen a black spot on his head. And I used to always send messages. Y'all better get away from him. Y'all better get. And I knew he was the darkness. Because when he was leaving them to go to all these different schools to get his little degree and the degree in science and the third eye and all this and how nobody created this and nobody created this. You created it with your own. Oh, and then when he got on their store, said, you your own, I'm your healer. I'm a healer. I heal sick people. I'm your healer. There's no God that heals you. I'm your healer. And I said, oh my goodness. See how far people can go? Ooh, but this is when it showed me the weak link of men to allow that to come into. First, he tried to take over all their platforms, but the old head wasn't going for it. They fought back, y'all. I mean, it got to the point they talking about gang banging. And that's where Haki come from, out of a game for many years. But they was talking about, they was on radio station, a man that every word come out his mouth cursing and said all kind of stuff. Haki and what's his name got on there. But what's his name is the man, y'all. But guess what? How far he got out? He got out so deep out of truth. I was like, Man, I told you that man was going to drag you out of truth. And he did. Last time I saw him, I heard him, and that was about 3 years ago. He's somewhere in the deep, way out in the deep ocean. And I was like, see, this is what happened when you go in that way, and it's Malachi. Yeah, there you go. Malachi. Thank you. Let me tell y'all, Malachi was the best. You hear me? Malachi. Oh, you're right. You're right. Malachi. You know who I'm talking about. I was staying in Georgia, and that's how I got on YouTube, through Malachi. Just sitting back, listening to him. I said, that's a man that's really trying to be the heart of y'all. But, where is Malachi now? He way on the deep end. He has to be. Because the last time I heard him, he was talking about, we not supposed to eat this, and we supposed to be this. And Yaki left his tail. Left him. They were supposed to be getting all this land, and Haki had went into this land, and I said that Yaki is dangerous. He's dangerous, and they supposed to be getting this land. I said he ain't about what this. He got everybody thinking he getting this land. He gonna do this. He gonna do that. He gonna make homes for everybody. And guess what? He was trying to get funds from everybody. Never did get the land, and that's when they broke off. You see, but Malachi, there you go, y'all. Malachi. Oh, I'm going to look him up. That's him. Malachi. Yes. But that Yaki, he's all the way out there deep. He's really deep. You did? You used to hear him too, but wasn't he good? Tell me, was he good? Back in 2016 and 17 and 18, was not he good? He used to be good. Malachi used to be good, you guys. And he knew it in Hebrew, but he didn't wear his Hebrew out as far as forcing you to understand it in Hebrew. But I always felt that he was good. Somewhere along the line, I don't know what took place, but I do know darkness came in, because when Yaki showed up and he was saying all this stupid stuff, and I said, look at these old heads believing him. But then I realized it didn't take long. A year later, them old heads was getting away. And Yaki wanted the whole platform. He wanted to be the main person to teach and preach and everything. He didn't want them old heads, saying anything. And one thing I did not like about Yaki, say for instance, if you got 7 brothers on the panel, okay, you got 2 in the back, you got a reader on each side. When if Haki is in there, he don't want you crossing him out and saying anything, as far as say, if you say up and then you ask, or you say up, but you say up in a different way, Yaki, it's a look on his face that would just say, no, it's this. And his whole look switches when you're saying something. He don't want you even to interfere with nothing he says. I knew when I spotted that, I said, they just don't know who that man is. On the Hebrew show. Yeah, Mr. Hebrew show. Okay. Yeah, he used to be really good. I'm gonna tell you something. He used to be, but I'm gonna find out where he at now, because the last time I was listening to him, and he didn't sound like the one that drew me in the last time, and I felt kind of bad. And then Yaki, after he got enemies with a lot of them, he ended up getting enemies with the old heads. Then he ended up getting enemy with another group that him and Malachi was involved, and then another group, until all of a sudden Malachi went, Yaki went his own way, left Malachi hanging by himself. And Malachi was trying to get all these other young men in, but it was too late. He should have just stuck with it by himself. But y'all, it's a sad thing the way it really pans out. Yep. Yep. Malachi. I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna try to find him. And they be calling themselves all these other Hebrew words. Probably won't even find them because I think he came under a different name. I think he did. But I sure like to see what he's talking about now. But again, it doesn't matter what he's talking about, because if spirit and truth ain't on top of all of our heads and in our hearts, we can hang it up. All this other stuff we be talking don't mean nothing if we ain't talking about spirit and truth with the light. I see it. How did you know? That's exactly how he said it. Teaching God how to be God. Don't that sound like some kind of antichrist spirit? So you heard him too, huh? You heard him. But why would you say that? Why would now? Okay, do you see what I'm saying? How a lot of people would look at me and say that it's wrong for me to say that we disrespecting y'all. But a lot of us don't understand our words are disrespecting him. Our actions are disrespecting him. The way we conduct ourselves is disrespecting him. Because we want the world to think. We want the world to think. We want the world to think that we are all this and that in the eyes of Yah. But we disrespect his righteousness, his just. We disrespect all of who he is. We disrespect his spirit and truth. We disrespect his power. And you know how? They never learned the power. Wait a minute. No, I didn't hear what you said. But you said it so well. I'm like saying, wait a minute, how did you get that like that? That's how he said it. Identical. So I'm just thinking I'm thinking you had heard him. I'm like, wait a minute, she said it exactly the way he said it. and I wasn't surprised. It was just that I look at the idea of that. I wasn't surprised he said it, because I've always been saying since 1916, what am I saying? 1916, 2016. Wait a minute, am I right? Yeah, he been saying it. 2016. This is how I knew that he was on the dark side, and I kept a watch on his black mark in his head. But now it don't look like he looked like, I don't know how he got that off, because I don't see it. So when I heard him say that, I said, you the same old thing that was way back in the days. That's how all those other places, and they had it was a lot of them grouped off, and they were working. At one minute, they was working together, different ones. But hey, all of them, that's why I was saying to y'all, all of them then gone their way. And their way is lost. Because they ain't coming to spirit and truth and the light. Because it's almost, let me explain to what I'm saying to make it not sound so bad. It's almost like Yah gave them an opportunity to know who they were. And I thought that was beautiful. He gave them the opportunity to look into the light, to see. He gave them the opportunity to walk into the door. But everybody wants to come through the back door and the basement door and the basement window, or the crawl space. They want to come into the side windows. Nobody wants to come in through the door. Because the door, you have to step into that with respect. You got to step into that with honor. You got to step into that bow down. You ain't coming to that front door any way you want to. And when you come through that front door, you're going to recognize Yeshua HaMashiach. You ain't coming through that front door thinking you going to just come up, pull up, and I'm in there. I'm in the house now. No, you ain't in the house. You still down stuck in the basement. Because there's another door you got to enter into the house. And if you ain't coming through the front door, he ain't letting you in neither way. So you can be on the back door knocking all you want. You can be down there in the back door trying to knock that door in, or thinking you can crawl through the crawl space and come in through the basement window. You can do whatever way you want. And when you finish, you still gonna not make it in the house, because you got to come through the front door. And that's spirit and truth. That Holy Spirit ain't letting your tail come up to that front door. Talking about what education you got, what degree you got. It ain't letting you come up to that door because you call yourself a priest. You call yourself an evangelist or an apostle or prophet or a bishop or pastor. He don't care about that. Are you pulling up in spirit and truth with the light in your hand so you can see what door you knocking on? You just can't pull up on y'all like you just want to, but that's the mindset of the people, y'all. They don't care. They don't care. It's nothing in them that tells them to have any type of care for the Most High, y'all. All that grace and mercy. They don't care about it. Just having the fear. I said, but Father, the fear ain't even out there. He said, they can't have what I ain't gave them, Deborah. So what do you want them to have? What you want them to pull up with? They can't pull up with righteous. Deborah. They can't pull up with belief. Deborah. They can't pull up with faith. Deborah. They can't pull up with the fear of Yah. Deborah. They can't pull up with hope. He said, matter of fact, they can't even activate truth without the Ruach HaKodesh. You see? So they ain't got nothing going on. And this is what we stuck with. Nothing going on. No, he don't. He really don't. But this is what made him think that he was going to get into the field. Yaqui felt he can get into the field and blow all the other Hebrew Israelite men, especially Malachi was really good. But how he overpowered Malachi is through that education. He went in it and studied and learned everything he needed to learn on the world side to be able to defeat Malachi on the spiritual side. And he did it. He did it. Now, what he defeated was darkness. You know, it wasn't like he was defeating Malachi's light or anything. He was just defeating darkness. That's what you went to get your degree for. So you can serve the world and then come back and counteract everything that's in the spirit realm and everything that represent Yah like they've been doing. And that's why I keep trying to say to y'all, they even gotten to the point where everything that is written, they look at that as something that can be changed and that can be added and taken away. That's how they see it. They see the Ethiopian Bible. Now, this is something that's really interesting. In this past weekend Sabbath, that's something else. I was asking him, what is this deal with you and Ethiopians? He gonna bring their tower down. So why is the world thinking they got the real book then? They got a book that they didn't wrote in, just like the Roman Catholic wrote in theirs. See, everybody talking about a book, but ain't nobody talking about the word. The book don't make it to be the word. The word is the Father. Now, this is what bothers me. When you see them divide the books, they got the old and the new. What's so sickening, in the old, they recognize Yah as the word. And they talk not based on words out of a book. The word came unto me. The word told me to stop. The word showed me this. The word of God said this. The word of God told me to do this. The word of God told me to stand. The word of God told me to bow. The word of God told me to go this way. The word of God said this. So how did a book become the word? It's when the New Testament, as they call it. Now, here go the book. And this is what shows y'all that a lot of us are wrapped in and are long suffering and endurance because we think we are so wrong in a world that's in the eyes of Yah. It's so dark. We got to come out of that realm. I know I'm out because I see them not even following the book that they say is the word. So I'm like saying, Father, they're not even following the book they say that is the word. So how is it they're going to ever find out that you are the word? He said they're not. Because the word already handpicked his. See, he was talking to them. He is the word. He didn't need to put himself in no book. He don't answer to nobody. And I don't know where people get off thinking he do. He got the answer to us. The only way it can be done if he answered to us and what we can understand. He said, lead not to your own. Lead not to your own understanding. So wait a minute. You mean somebody else's understanding outside of my own? Well, where is that understanding at, Father? Who I'm going to lead to? See? Nobody never thought of it like that. He said, lead not to your own understanding. When, okay, if I'm going to lead to my understanding, when I'm reading it and I get the understanding in, and that's the understanding I get, is what I'm leading to. It's what I'm reading. Because he's showing you. The understanding is him. He is the word. That's why the word had to come down and be in us and teach us. Then he turned around and said, don't you put no trust in no man. Because when it come down to the word, trust me. Now, when you want to read them words, you can go and trust man with that. But when it come down to the word, trust me. But those words, y'all gonna go, Enoch, come tell them what they need to know. Let them go that route. But when it come down to the word, you got to trust the Father. But when you come down to the words, if you want to trust man with them, go right ahead. From what I can see from the wilderness level, they don't even trust their own self in it. So how do you gonna trust them? They don't even trust their own self. Because what I see is they're not teaching, they're not preaching, they're not walking, nor are they talking, nor are they ministering what they're reading. So in me, I'm like saying, but Father, is this something going on where they can't see it? He said, do you see it? I said, yeah. What are you seeing it through? I'm seeing it. Here it is right here, Father. It's right here written in here. This is what I'm seeing. He said, when you see that, right? What is it you can see in your natural eyes that they can't see? They got natural eyes too. So they can't see behind seeing, because the Ruach come to teach that. So what is it you can see in your natural eyes that they can't see? And I ain't talking about, Deborah, in your spiritual eyes. I'm talking about your natural. So if you can see it in your natural, what's the problem? You see? Which makes a lot of sense. Why do you have 1 million denomination and religion out of one book? Why is everybody precepting totally different? Why is everybody understanding? Interpretation, belief. Because they ain't really taking on what they read in themselves. That's how they end up with their own understanding, their own interpretation, their own belief. But they're coming from one book. And nobody can't teach and preach that and make it make sense. Because it ain't no sense in it to make sense. You see, it's crazy. So I learned a great deal during the Sabbath, because I learned things that I really never knew the deepness, even though I speak it and I teach it. But the deepness therein, it's a lot of deep stuff. And let me stop saying it like that. It's not that it's deep, because when the Spirit teaches you, he make it so plainly to see in the spirit realm. And then he shows you how they're missing it in the natural. They don't have that ability for me to teach them, because they refuse to have and carry the light. They love the darkness. So I let them rest therein. Don't think that I didn't know they were like that when they got down here, Deborah. I knew it. Just as I had made sure that there was 2 trees in the garden and not one. Praise the mighty Yah. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you tuning in. I hope you got something out of it. But even if you didn't, my spirit did. And I say, I will be back. And I say, shalom and shalom.